Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Hasted again, and I was asked to do a tutorial on my blaze spawner. So I'm going to go into a few details real quick before I actually start. Some things to keep in mind. In order for a monster spawner to spawn things, you have to be within 16 blocks of it in any direction. Two, only a certain amount of things can spawn in a given area. The monster spawner checks to see how many things are in an 8x3 area, and if there's a limit, I'm not exactly sure what the limit is, I'm sorry, but if there is a certain amount of monsters in an 8x3 area, it won't spawn. Hopefully it's 8x3, but if I'm a little bit wrong on that, just go ahead and correct me. But regardless, so to increase spawning, if you remove the creature from the check zone, the spawner will continue to spawn because there won't be enough creatures in the area. Also, the mobs spawn in a 8x3 area, going off, I believe, the lower left corner, but in this mob trap I'm going to ignore the 8x3 rule and make a 9x3 just to make it simpler, because in all honesty I do not know what the lower left corner is. So what I have here is the first part of the room for the spawner. Let me get some glass real quick. This is a 9 by 9. So imagine this grass block is the spawner if you haven't picked that up yet. You want 4 blocks in each direction, including this one. That would be 9 total. So we have our 9 by 9 area. That's where the creatures are going to spawn. And also we want a 4 high wall, and we want the ceiling to be 1 high above that. So we have, if we count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and then our ceiling is going to be on the 5th space. This is important because let's say, since they spawn in the 9x3 area, their feet, if I'm not mistaken, can spawn in the 3rd block high. So we want ample room for them to spawn. As you can see, there's a creature can spawn here because I can stand here. So I'm going to cover this up real quick and I'll get right back to you. Alright, I have the ceiling put together. You can use any block. It doesn't necessarily have to be glass. I'm using it just so we can get some light through. And again, all this, the floor and everything, does not necessarily have to be nether brick. I use nether brick in mine just so I can go along with the whole nether fortress ordeal. I'm going to go through materials real quick. You need 4 sticky pistons for the actual funnel, the spawning room area. You will need more for the crusher and the stopper, but for now I'm just going to do this. So 4 sticky pistons, 4 pressure plates, 4 redstone repeaters, and if I'm not mistaken, 36 signs. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the actual funnel part now. So we have our 9 by 9 area. We're going to go 1 out from the wall here. We're going to not dig this block out, but we're going to dig this all along here. The corner, however, is going to be a 2 by 2 area. So keep digging and leave this area again. Repeat all the way around. So our area is going to look like that. We're going to dig this out. And as you can see, I already did this just to speed up the process. We're going to dig down 2 blocks though. The reason we're doing 2 blocks is because the blazes can jump and they can get out. So if they fall down, well, let me rephrase that. When they fall down to the next level, we want to make sure they cannot get back up. At this point, I want to point out something real quick that I actually forgot. Around our monster spawner, we actually want to put 4 signs here. The signs are for a very important purpose. Well, they have a very important purpose. Let's say a blaze spawns up here. The blaze actually believes that there's a block here because the sign actually occupies the space right here, and they walk onto the sign, and since the sign doesn't actually support anything, they fall right through. And at this level, we want a sign all across here. So there's 5 signs. Yeah, 5 signs across here, and repeat that 4 times. So this is a total of 20 signs along this layer. Oops. And there's 4 signs here. So far we're using 24 signs. Alright, so this is what our next layer is going to look like. The next layer is actually pretty much the same. Alright, yeah. So this is pretty much going to be the same as this top level, except for it's going to be or smaller. So we're going to keep this 1 block, we're going to dig, but keep this area right here again. So we have that corner popping out just like we did there. So this one is only 3. See, so we have 1, 2, 3, and now we have to get rid of all this. Again, dig down twice. I prepped it just so we didn't have to go through it. And we're going to put these signs on here again. So this is 9 more. I'm sorry, 12 more. I apologize. Alright, so this is our next level. We are 4 blocks below the spawner now, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 4 blocks below the spawner again. Or, yeah. Alright, this level is going to be, again, just a repeat. So, but all we have to do is get rid of this 1 block and drag it down 2. So if you look from above, these corners, all it does is drop down, and it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. And right here, we're going to do something a little bit different though. We're going to drop down here, and we are actually going to get rid of these blocks first. Let me go to sleep real quick. Alright, sorry about that again. Let me get back in here. Alright, so again, we're going to get rid of these blocks right here, and we are going to put a redstone repeater under this block. And now we are going to take away 2 different blocks, put sticky pistons here, alright, so it's going to look just like that. As you can see, the redstone as of right now, or the repeaters right now, are exposed. So, but that's not going to stay. Right. What we're going to do now is replace the outside block to where we had it. So if you look at it again, it looks the same. The only difference is this hole right here. And at this point, we are going to put our pressure plates down. Alright, after we have all that, all we need to do is dig down this hole straight down, and let's say to about right here. This looks good. However, after this, we want to make sure of something very, very important. Since the blaze only spawn when we're 16 blocks away, we're going to make sure we are within that. So let's say the spawner is right here. So 1, 2 blocks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do 13. that is plenty enough. You don't really have to go too awfully far. However, there's a couple things you want to make sure. Let's say we want to go down, oh, sorry. Alright, we're going to go down 2 blocks, and, wait, 3 blocks, sorry. And, at least right here is where we want our first piston. So, we have 1, 2, this is where our crusher piston is going to be, and 3. We want to at least go down, let me count that real quick. I counted. We want to at least make our shaft 6 blocks deep. At 6 blocks, it will be 12 blocks away, and since we're going to go 13 just to make sure we're safe. I'll get into a little bit why I chose these numbers in a little bit. So what we're going to do is just bust out of here real quick, and we want to make a little area for us to stand and such. There. So our actual standing zone doesn't have to be fancy, but let's say we have it set up like this. We want a block ahead in front of us, so we have like a little like a T going on that's has the or an X that has the center cut out, and we have 1 block here. So if anything stands here, they don't actually see you, and you're standing there, and they can't get out. And the rest of this, or the next thing that we're going to do is the crusher setup. So this has to do a little bit with redstone. If you are not familiar with redstone, I will attempt to make it as simple as possible, and I plan on going slow in this. So if you know how to do it, just skip ahead, and hopefully I can explain this well enough. Alright, so what we're going to need is a 3 sticky pistons, a shit ton of repeaters, a decent amount of redstone, and I would say 2 levers. I think that is all. Oh, and you might need redstone torches depending on how you want your setup. So let me grab some of these resources. Oh, I'm sorry, not 2 levers, 1 lever and 1 button. That's how I have mine set up. So how I have mine is I have a lever right here and a button right here. We're going to use this lever just to close off. Let me get rid of this block. To close off the tube, just so no more blaze can get in. However, they are still going to be outside of the 8x3 area, and they still spawn. And this button is going to be the actual crusher that crushes them, that weakens them. Let's go ahead and do the piston that shuts off the tube first, since this is the easiest. So what we're going to do is pick, if we're standing on where the blaze are going to be standing, we're going to go up 3 blocks, so 1, 2, and 3. We're going to get rid of it just so we know where it is. And we're going to build just a real simple platform here. I'm going to go in here and put a sticky piston 1 block out from it, and then we're going to replace this block. So what's going to happen is, let me go ahead and turn this on. When it gets power, it's going to push. It's not actually going to hurt anything, except for the One flaw in my system right now is some of the blazes jump and they do take slight damage, which kills a couple of them, but regardless, this just prevents the blazes from new blazes from coming down after we weaken them, because we don't want full HP blazes or full health blazes mixing with the blazes that only need to be hit once, because then we'll hit the full HP ones and it'll just be a big mess. But from here we have a couple options we could do. The easiest option is just to make a little staircase down, just like so, and connect it to the back of this lever. I don't think this is going to work actually, hold on. Yeah. One thing about pistons, we want to go into the piston, so let me drag this out one. Alright, just like that. Oops, I needed that, didn't I? So we're going to loop out a little bit. Yeah, dang it, I keep messing up. I apologize, guys. There, that's how we want it. So we're actually going into the piston here. So now if we hit it, the redstone is actually going into the piston. I'm not actually sure why you can't power a piston when you're just going across it like this. So actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure you can, but it has to be one block above. But regardless, this is what we're going to do here. It's the simplest way. There's a couple other ways you can do it. Let's say we do it like this. You can put a redstone torch under here, and then you can run a signal into the side of this. This is this could be more compact depending on how you want to do it. So what it does is it inverts the signal if you go into it on the side with a redstone torch here, as you can see. Or you can get even more simple. It's the same concept. So, oh, I don't think I explained this. When you have a lever like this, it powers this block, and it you can get power from this lever from multiple spots. One spot is underneath of it. Another spot is behind it, on each side of it, and even on top of it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So pretty much any angle you can get power. So if you're ever interested, that's a little tip. That's very basic, so if you already do know it, I apologize. But this is the exact same thing as the other one, just less wiring. What we're doing is this wire inverts this signal, and it goes up here and hits this, which inverts it again. I mean, not inverts it, but powers the piston. I apologize. So, bam, just like that. This is the most compact. I think this is how I actually have it in my world, if I'm not mistaken, because I did recently change it. I did the staircase thing at first, and I actually had to remove part of it for reasons. So this is the easiest way to do it, I believe. Alright, so now to the little bit more difficult part. We need to make this button pulse for a certain amount of time, and I would like to think, I'm terrible with names, I apologize, I had to go look up the person's name. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Nobrian. He's one of my subscribers. He showed me a YouTube video how to do this, so credit to him. But what we're going to build now is a timed pulse. So the button acts relatively the same to the lever, but instead of on-off, it just pulses for a very, very short period of time. Nowhere near long enough to actually deal enough damage to the blaze. But again, you can go from many different angles. The reason I'm saying the many different angles is because if you wanted to hide all this wire underground, you can. You can just go under here and start your wire from here and build this entire circuit underground. Oops, I think I went down too far, didn't I? Yes, I did. So yeah, you can go underground and it will hide all of it. Or if I can hit the button, see how it's all powered still? But just for simplicity, I'm just going to go with this. So I will, if I remember, I will put the link of the video that Nobrian showed me, because the guy does a pretty good job of explaining it. I picked up on it immediately thanks to that guy's style. But we need a decent area for this. So go ahead and underneath your spawner, just dig out a, I don't know, maybe a, let me see how big I have mine real quick. Alright, I jumped into my survival mode real quick just to show you what we're building before we do it. Don't be scared, because I will go through it step by step with you guys. But what we have in front of you is what we're going to build. I know it's hard to see some of the redstone here, but you shouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's already open. But we have, let me go ahead and count all these real quick. Alright, what we have is 23 repeaters, and they are all set to 4 ticks. I figured out that if you set 1 to 3 ticks, it still doesn't mess it up, but if you set 1 to 2 ticks, it will mess it up. So we go ahead and set all of them to 4 ticks, and if you want to leave 1 to 3 ticks, it's okay. I was trying to experiment to see if I would lose less, or less would die if I did the 3 tick one, but I couldn't get solid evidence from it. Seems like the same amount died from when I close this. Let's see if you can see it. Let me get rid of this block. This efficiency diamond pick just seems like it's instant mine. So right here is where I have my piston. See 1, 2, and 3, just like we had it. So now it's retracted. So let me go ahead and hit this and show you what is happening, and then I will run into creative mode real quick and do it for you all. So I hit it, and it's crushing them. Let me see, this piston is pushing. Piston is 2 blocks, which is going to be 1 block lower than the one we have originally. So now they should be to the point. See, I got experience for 1 punch. All of them should do this. And this is in survival mode. I play on normal most of the time. I rarely play on hard, and the only time I do peaceful is when I'm showing something off. Like I was in peaceful earlier, a couple episodes back, when my one of my save files is messed up. So this definitely works in survival. They don't see you at all how I have it set up, so they will never be on fire. When a blaze spots a player, he engulfs himself in flames and shoots. So you don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and go back into my creative mode, and we will build this setup step by step. And don't get discouraged, guys, it's really not that difficult. Alright, back in survival mode. Back in survival mode when it's morning. I'm going to do this, I mean, very, very, very slightly different than what you just saw. The only reason I did that, or the only reason I'm going to do it differently, is because I've been messing around with redstone quite a bit lately, and I figured a couple things out that's a little different. So we have our button, and what we're going to do is, let me see, which way do I want to go? Okay, it doesn't matter. We're going to put our redstone down, and I'm going to show you something real quick. If we make a loop with the redstone wire and hit a torch, the loop doesn't turn off. So to do something, let's if we do this, if we dig a block down and finish our redstone, and let's turn it on real quick, and we'll put a sticky piston where we have 1 block gap, and put any block here besides glass, TNT, and glowstone, if I'm not mistaken. The reason you don't want to use those is because they are not a solid block, so just use anything normal, like stone, cobblestone, anything. So if we push the sticky piston, it stops the circuit. So this is what we're going to use. So we want this to come right here, and we are going to have 23 sticky pistons in a row. So let's count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if we go 12 out, that would be half of it. And we're going to repeat the same thing. I made more of a square instead of a line in my other one, and this is what I'm going to change slightly. Oops, I messed up a little bit. This doesn't have to be perfect right here, exactly how I have it, but we're just going to go with it like this. So we're going to go out from, alright, let's turn this back on just so you know what I'm talking about. So where this is lit, this is where we want at least one of the repeaters to go off of. So if you keep this lit while you're doing it, you'll kind of know what you're doing a little bit better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Alright, so notice how these pistons aren't, these repeaters aren't lit. What you're going to do is go out here, hit 2 redstone, bam. All it does is complete the circuit, loops around. We're going to take this and we're going to bounce away from this redstone. We don't want to hit this redstone because that will just keep the loop going continuously. So we want to make sure we do not hit this redstone. And turn this off. So that is what we have right there. Now we have to go through and set all these to 4. Alright, all of these repeaters are set to maximum. That is 1 tick, 2, 3, and 4. When you originally put a repeater down, it is set in the 1 tick position. So all you have to do is set it 3 times to set it into the 4th tick. That is the maximum time each one, and if I'm not mistaken, each tick represents 1/10 of a second. So each one of these repeaters is 4/10 of a second since they're on 4 ticks. So let's go ahead and push this button and see how long it takes for this piston to push. How this works is that it takes so long for this signal to come back, and it finally comes in and it pushes this, which stops this cycle right here. And then it comes back, which is not as important, as long as you don't have to push the button in rapid sequence. Alright, so if we look at this, we notice that this entire area is lit. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit more compact. Bam. So now what we're going to do is the same thing as this piston. Alright, I just push this piston just to show you. So what we're going to do is pick one of the corners that isn't occupied by this piston. So we can go out this one or this one, whichever works best for you guys. So I'm going to do this one because right here it looks like it's going to be the easiest. And all I'm going to do is, let me think here. Oh, let me put the piston here first. piston 1 block, so we have 1 block, and then put the block that's going to be pushed right here, so it's all nice and smooth. Let me open this up. Alright, and now all we need to do is get power to this, and the easiest way is a ladder again. So we'll go out, just like that, and we can get this, to know where you can get this circuit from, you can just turn this on, and at anywhere that there's light, you can bring it from. So let's just hit this area, bam, just like that. And now when there's not power, it shuts off. And wait till this circuit goes. So when we push it, oh, I messed up something. Did you see it go twice? Let me see if it does it again. Nope, I messed up again. Hold on. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I think I lied to you. I don't think you want to go directly from the button, because it seemed like there's like a 1/10 of a second where it's not powered. So instead, all you have to do is just go from any part of this 3x3 area, a 3x2 area, not including the piston, because you can't get power out of the piston. So this works, even this works. This spot is occupied, so you don't want to use that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 options. This is where I went. So you can do any of those. As you can see now, let me get at a good angle. If you watch the piston top left, it doesn't retract again like it did last time. I don't know if you caught that, but what it did last time, it pushed and then immediately pushed back and then went right back in. I'm not sure why. As you can tell, I'm not a redstone genius, but I know a couple tricks. But yeah, so this is our pretty much it. What we're going to do is just put this block here now. So let's say we're going to open it up, and the blazes, come on, fly for me. Alright, since the blazes don't take fall damage, this is a really good setup that's really reliable, so they can fall that 6 blocks or so and not take any damage, since they kind of float down. So they're walking around and they fall down here, bam, just like that. So there's other blaze spawners out there that uses a lot more pistons, but since I'm a cheapie, this is the method I came up with. So if you want a slightly higher efficiency one, I checked theirs out. I think Etho did one that did pistons on every level, but that sounds really expensive to me. So yeah, this is the gist of it. I hope I went through the redstone simple enough for you. Let me go through it all real quick again. All this does is shut off this piston where it prevents more spawning. And all this does is crush it for a certain amount of time. 23 repeaters in this line, which loops back around, comes out, does not connect to this again. This is the perfect time for blazes to get down to half of a heart. What I'm actually going to do now is go into the nether and build one of these with a legit blaze spawner. So I'm going to link that in the description. If you want to see it done with a legit blaze spawner, I will link that in the description if I remember. So stay tuned, and I hope this helped for you. If it did, let me know if you build it in your world, and if you have ability to record and show me if you changed it all, just go ahead and upload it and let me know. And if you want to see more of what I've been doing around my world, subscribe to me and you will see all of my videos. I upload pretty regularly, and yeah, so go check out the one that I built in the actual Nether. That's going to be up in a couple minutes, and I will see you next time. This was Hasted, and thank you.